The international airport was packed with travelers, rolling suitcases, and echoing announcements. The terminal was filled with voices and movement. The sound of rolling bags echoed off the polished floor, and the sharp calls of boarding announcements echoed through high ceilings. Among the crowd stood Adam, a young man with a calm face near baggage belt 7. Looking up at his phone as he waited, his fingers moved slowly across the screen, checking messages or maybe browsing social media, completely relaxed and unaware of what was coming. The conveyor belt beside him moved slowly and steadily, loaded with rows of nearly identical black suitcases, each one looking as plain and ordinary as to the next. A black suitcase with a red tag rolled towards him on the belt. Adam barely looked up, reached forward, and without checking the trap properly, picked it up and placed it confidently on his trolley. He gave it a brief glance, then turned away, rolling the trolley with him as he walked away through the terminal. He had no idea that the bag he picked wasn't his at all. Moments later, a man named Daniel arrived at the same baggage spot. He had a sharp, focused expression. He looked closely at the bags going around. He scanned leftover bags one by one. His face turned serious the moment he noticed his bag wasn't there. He looked around again. As time passed, only a few unclaimed suitcases were left circling on the belt. None matched the one he had checked in. He moved closer and began checking the bag tags on those nearby, but it was clear from his growing frustration that his suitcase was completely missing. Clutching his small shoulder bag tightly, Daniel's concern deepened. There was something incredibly important inside his missing suitcase, a USB drive. Not just any USB or ordinary pen drive. It contained confidential data from a secure research facility and had been programmed with an auto wipe feature. If the drive isn't unlocked in 30 minutes, it will erase itself forever. Daniels glanced at his watch. Time was already slipping through his fingers. Daniel rushed across the terminal, waving through crowds, eyes scanning the sea of travelers for anyone who might have his suitcase. He stopped a cleaning staff member near the belt and quickly asked if they had seen anyone picked up that particular bag. The staff member thought for a second and then pointed toward the lounge area. He described someone who looked like a young man in a hoodie casually walking off with the black suitcase. In the lounge, Adam was seated comfortably. His trolley with the black suitcase stood next to him as he relaxed, enjoying the quiet corner. Daniel spotted and marched towards him quickly. Daniel said to Adam that he had taken his suitcase. Adam looked confused at first, but then said that he had realized the mistake earlier. But before he could do anything about it, an unknown man wearing a hoodie and glasses had approached him earlier. The man pointed to the suitcase and said it belongs to him and asked to give it back. Adam, not thinking much of it, agreed and handed it to him. In return, the man gave him his actual suitcase back to him. Now, Daniel looked completely stunned. The whole story was started to feel strange. Something about it didn't sit right. The pieces didn't fit, unless something bigger was going on. Adam and Daniel locked eyes. There was tension now. Adam asked what was inside Daniel's suitcase. Daniel said he won't have time to talk and they needed to go out now. They rushed towards the airport security station. Inside the room, a staff member welcomed them. She quickly reviewed the CCTV footage upon their request. On the screen, they watched the unknown man calmly took the suitcase from Adam and walked away, mixed up with other passengers headed towards the train terminal. Adam and Daniel nodded silently to each other and rushed out of the room. They sprinted down the terminal hallway, stopping often to ask random persons if they had seen the man. At one point, a person at coffee shop pointed towards the airport parking sign. It was a lead. Daniel ran ahead, breathing heavily from the chase, while Adam struggled to keep up, scanning the area left and right for any signs of the man in the hoodie. At last, near the airport metro gate, they saw him. Daniel shouted for him to stop. The unknown man turned around slowly. His expression was completely neutral. He paused as if nothing was wrong. He casually handed over the black suitcase, for which Daniel was waiting for so long. Adam took the bag and opened it immediately, nervous but hopeful. But his face shifted almost instantly from relief to disbelief. He muttered while flipping through the contents of the bag. He checked every part of the suitcase, but no drive was found. Out of confusion, Daniel requested Adam to check his actual bag too. Adam started checking his bag. Within no time, to everyone's shock, inside the suitcase was a single USB drive stuck into the side pocket. Adam pulled it out and held it up, with his eyes filled with confusion. Daniel stared at it with confusion. Daniel whispered that this wasn't possible. Adam blinked and said that the unknown man must have swiped the USB. Now, suddenly, Daniel's lips slowly curled, but it wasn't a happy smile. It was creepy and cold. He reached out and took the USB from Adam's hand. Adam stood back, confused. He asked what was going on. Daniel replied in a calm voice that the USB doesn't belong to anyone in the airport. He revealed the truth that he had stolen it from a confidential government lab. It was secret data. Very few people in the world even know it existed. Adam stood frozen in place, his eyes wide and shocked. Daniel looked at his watch again. The timer on the USB had hit 30 minutes. Daniel smiled and said thanks to Adam's help. He had made it just in time. Data was gone now, wiped clean. He held up the USB like it was a prize and said that no one could ever be able to access what was inside. Then, without warning, his expressions completely changed. The USB felt warm in his hand, too warm. Daniel whispered quietly, asking why it was hot. A voice from behind answered, saying that because the data had been copied. Both Daniel and Adam turned around. The unknown man was walking towards them again, this time removed his hoodie and glasses. His appearance has changed. He was no longer just another traveler. His face was calm and professional. He introduced himself clearly as Agent Cole from National Cyber Intelligence. Daniel's face turned pale. His hands began to shake. Cole stared at him and said that Daniel didn't delay him. In fact, Cole had delayed Daniel. He raised a second small device, a data copier, and its green light was blinking. Cole said that while Daniel was running in circles trying to protect the USB, he had already completed the mission. Daniel understood the situation and tried to run away, but it was too late. Airport security officers were already nearby. They tackled him to the ground and restrained him before he could take any more steps. Cole handed the original USB back to agents who had just arrived. His mission was over. Adam stood froze, still holding his suitcase. As Agent Cole walked towards him, he looked at the Adam and said that he had helped more than he could realize. Daniel was escorted away in handcuffs. His face was filled with defeat and regret. And finally, everything looked just like before. Travelers moved through the hall, flight accommodations echoed in the background, and life continued as if nothing had happened. But somewhere behind the surface of the ordinary, a hidden mission has just been completed.